Welcome back, everybody. We're with us here at Cape Rugby TV. Right, we're talking about what's happening in the world of Western Province Club Rugby. I'm thrilled to have in studio with me Dave Kagan. He's the president of Hamilton's Rugby Football Club. Brian Smith, head coach of Kylemore. He says I must say Kylemore, not Kylemore. I must say Kylemore. It must roll off the tongue. And I admit I've been saying it wrong for the last 20 years, and I'm probably going to keep saying it wrong for the next 20 years as well. But for now, I will try and make the effort to say Kylemore. Kylemore. Nice and smooth like that. Kylemore. Dave Kagan, Hamilton's Rugby Football Club. They tell me that you are the oldest rugby football club in the country. Is that right?
Absolutely. The history books will tell us so.
No one's going to debate that? Have the rings on the bark, has it been checked, and the DNA?
Everything is checked, and most importantly, you can go to Villager, and at Villager, the big wall outside the entire building says established 1876.
I must tell you, Dave, for the visitors, for the viewers that are watching the show right now, I was privileged enough to, over the years, be exposed to some of your digital archives and your black and white photographs and the old history and scans of the newspapers and everything like that. And obviously, it went into the thousands of pictures that I saw you guys bring out. And I don't know how often you guys get a little pat in the back or congratulations, but the work that you guys have done from a Hammy's point of view to preserve the history is just absolutely amazing.
Well, JP, that's what every club depends on. It's your history.
Yeah.
And, you know, how can you play the game with any type of fervor, with any type of enthusiasm, if you don't know your history?
Yeah.
So we actually try and impart that onto our players.
But Alistair, isn't that something that's kind of, you're involved in the sports space now, administration, education, etc. One of the things that we're lacking, what David was saying, is we're lacking the clubs, they don't know their own identity. You don't necessarily know your history, which makes it quite hard to sell. Because you go to the sponsor and they say, who are you? You go, well, we're a club. But you want to say, no, we've been around for 20 years, 50 years. You know, started by this guy and that guy. You must know your history.
100%. Knowing your history, getting the players to understand, then the why becomes easier. Why I'm at the club, you know, and the reason for playing for the club, you know. But a lot of, I can't say a lot of clubs, but a lot of players, if you ask them, you know, why are you playing for CPT, for example? Do you know when CPT was started? It's a 5-year-old club. You know, what's the history? What's the players before you? What players have journeyed on that you can look up to? You know, so knowing the history plays a big effect.
You got a bit of that at Kylemore, Brian, in terms of trying to get the youngsters and the youth and the schools and everybody in that area feeding into Kylemore, and they actually play for Kylemore because they're proud of Kylemore.
Exactly. We have an actually long list of history coming from the Boland, Saru players. Guy like Ivan Jacobs went to play for Saru. In the new dimension, we have the Hustle Junkies, we have the Edwolf and the Merwers.
Wow, big names.
Exactly. So this birthplace of Springboks.
Jerome Parvatu will be so happy to know that we spoke about Hustle Junkies here. And he came through the ranks there.
Exactly. But he's actually giving back to the club. He's actually organizing now for the gym. And Ed will actually also give back to us and give us a few training equipment. So the guys are actually keeping involved in the club, or still involved in the club, not on them.
That's amazing. All right, folks, let's take a look at some rugby. Helderberg up against Van der Stel this past weekend. folks. Helderberg, Van der Stel.
Our sequence of it.
Results going there in favour of Helderberg. Of course, there's a bit of a night game there. Wednesday night game. I think it was Wednesday night game. First half only there, but yeah, first results going in favour of Helderberg. Alistair, your thoughts on the match itself? I mean, still early days.
Yeah, it's early days, but you can see there's some structure in those games, and it was quite physical. You know, that's a night game, view on the ball, so it was quite direct.
Yeah.
But there was also in the same breath, there was some nice transitional play there, as you could see when they scored those tries.
Brian, your thoughts on the game?
It's so organized and actually making it a little bit stereotyping. So I don't get the flair in the game, and that has been taken out of the game, especially in Super League A games. And actually, a referee actually moans about it. There's no so organized, so he doesn't have much to do. And but in the Super League B, Super League C games, there's a lot of to do. So you have to be on your toes.
Okay, so we're seeing. I see where you're going. The more structures in the games, there's less running rugby maybe, or not less running rugby, but less. Is that a risk though? Is that a slight risk, Alistair, that the more structure you get, the less expression we have?
No, you can have a framework which players works in.
Yeah.
You know, so you can have structure to form a base, and from there they can play, showcase their flair.
Yeah.
You know?
Brian, from a Kylemore point of view, if people want to join Kylemore, if they want to get involved, how do they go about doing that?
They actually just pitch up on the practice field. We practicing Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah.
And just pitch up. But we do have a Facebook page, so they can actually contact us on the Facebook page, and there's the email addresses who are also available. But there's a lot of guys who in the valley who just can set you up with the necessary.
So you practice are open Tuesdays and Thursdays, and
Yes.
the best way is through Facebook.
You have to come. You have to come to the practice,
Come to practice.
and the coaching staff. They have to know.
Yeah.
And
your first game, or your thoughts on Super League B?
we actually found our feet now in Super League B. We have been 2 years in the league now, and we didn't have such a good season last year. But we actually want to improve on our position on the log. So we actually bowling, and we're getting along. We're getting there.
Who's your first game? Who are expecting the first game? Who's your first fixture? Do you know?
Makassar.
Makassar?
That's going to be a biggie. It's going to be a biggie.
The MC boys.
Yes.
It's going to be a challenge.
They crowd, but we have our community. We actually behind our boys, and so we gonna actually out scream them.
So home game for you guys?
Yes, it's a home game for us.
First game starting then on the 5th of April. I think.
Yes.
5th of April, first game for Kylemore against Makassar. I'm sure you're going to have a big turnout. Brian, we'll say good luck for the season, and hopefully we'll get lots more info from Kylemore in the weeks to come.
Oh, thank you very much, JP, for having me, and good luck to you guys as well for the rest of the season.
There we go, folks. We'll take an ad break. When we come back, we'll carry on talking club rugby. Back in a sec.